The better, okay. So my name is Natasha Barrett. I was the master artist for the composers. And I was wondering, actually, I want to invite the composers here so I can introduce you to them so you know who they are when you walk around. I hope that was okay. Yes? Okay. Right, so on my direct right here, we have Rebecca Havenemi from Norway. We have then Eli Stein from the University of Michigan. And then we have Robert Scott Thompson from Atlanta. And then Julia Vismara from Venice in Italy. And then right at the end there, I'm just going to dot around a bit because I'm going to talk about Ben in a minute. He's doing something slightly different. We have Benjamin Whiting from the University of Illinois. Yeah, that's right, University of Illinois. And then we have Andrew Babcock from the University of Florida. And then on this end, we have Robert Seaback, also from the University of Florida, hence why I jumped around there to put the two together. And then finally, on my left here, we have Brona Martin from, well, you're Irish, but you currently live in Cambridge in the UK. So now all the composers here are from somewhat different backgrounds, but what they have in common is that they are proficient in the use of computers, in working with sound and working with composition. And what we have been working on in these past few weeks is focusing on how space and sound in space, or sound spatialization, can shape their musical ideas. And we've been specifically focusing on a technique called ambisonics, which is where we can express sound in space in contrast to sound coming from specific loudspeakers. And so during the weeks, we've been addressing this in both aesthetic areas, so in actual creativity areas, but also in technology and trying to merge the two. And we've been starting from the very genesis of the sound itself and following this through the creative process into their musical expression. And I think I'm very proud that they've all managed to create a small study to give a glimpse into their working process and what they have made. And so we invite you into our music studio, where we have set up an 8-channel sound array, and you can come and listen and get an insight into what they have been working on. And Benjamin, he has worked with a slightly different perspective, and he's used video and motion tracking to explore physical gesture and how that can control sound. Okay, so thank you and welcome.
I'm Jessica Abel, and I'm the literary artist. I'm a cartoonist, and have a mixed group of cartoonists and other narrative artists here with me. Would you guys want to come up? Should we do this? Might as well, right? So we worked just across the way in the dance studio, actually. You'll see when you go in there that we've taken over this space with a whole bunch of tables and things like that. So first, let me just go through and introduce everybody. So down on the end here is J.D. Lund from, it says White River, but you're actually in Providence right now, right? His Liz Argyle from Seattle. Not originally from Seattle. Stacy.
It is really.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. She's got her wrong name on here. Stacy Pig from Vancouver. Not originally from Vancouver either. Nobody's originally from anywhere. Right, Robin Ha? From DC, yeah. And then we've got Jim Kettner here from Portland, Oregon. And Lacey Davis, also from Portland, Oregon. And Keith Wilson from Chicago, Illinois. And Jenny Blair from Ypsilanti, Michigan. So what we did here is going to be a little bit hard to communicate with you guys, the big things we did here, because basically everybody here launched into a giant narrative project here. And they didn't all expect to do this. Some of them came in like, oh, I've got my thing all nailed down. I know exactly what I'm doing. But no, we took it all apart and we started over again. Right? So we spent a lot of time in the writer's studio across the way from the dance studio around the conference table, really diving into narrative structure, really thinking about what it is that makes a story powerful, what are the things that we can do to connect readers to what we do. And you'll see the fruits of the labor all over the walls in the dance studio. What we did do, though, that was a little bit more easy to absorb and communicate is they all created a script for a really short comic in the format called a Foley, which is a really cool format where you open it up and you read page by page as you open it up. So we have a bunch of different Foleys, and we made copies of those. You can take one or two with you as you leave. And we also have a handout of how to make them. So if you want to try it yourself, you can pick up a handout and you can make Foleys yourself. So thanks very much.
Good evening. I'm Sanford Biggers, and I'm very proud to bring my cohort and associate artists up to the Okay. We are the visual artist group, and we have been working at the painting studio across from right outside the door, basically, to the left. And we invite you to come over after to our open studios to see what we've been doing. And I'll introduce all the artists. Starting down to the left is Kenyatta Hinkle from Los Angeles, California. Next to her is Catalina Oyang from St. Louis, Missouri. Victor Perez from Gainesville, Florida. Katja Grokovsky from Brooklyn, New York. Jen Everett from St. Louis, Missouri. Jacob Broussard from, Megan Reed from Berkeley, California. Ollie Rodriguez from Miami Beach, Florida, although you're living in Chicago. And Jacob Broussard from Dallas, Texas, who is now Lafayette, Louisiana. So we're moving all around, basically. So what you'll see when you come to the studio is the culmination of the last several weeks, where I invited all the artists here with the idea that they had projects that they were working on. But once they were here, it was, time to put it into the group dialogue. So what we did over the last few weeks was I met with each one individually for an hour or two throughout the week to talk about where they were artistically, but also trajectory going beyond the residency. Some people are going to other residencies. Some people are considering grad school. Several of the artists have upcoming exhibitions in various parts of the U.S. And abroad. I'm actually going down to a conference in South Africa, and Kenyatta, one of the artists, is also going to that same conference. So there's a nice mixed group of artists in different places. But the thing that brings us all together is really the conception of new work based on ideas that they've all been working with. And I think we've had some very fruitful conversations. Today we had 2 hours of group critique, and we have another tomorrow where everyone is able to look at each other's work, and the artist fields questions to we, the audience, and we go into a critique dialogue based off of that. So thank you all, and thank you. And I think I want to invite everybody up here so all the master artists and their associate artists can take a bow. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you all. And so this concludes this evening's programming in the theater. So you have plenty of time to listen to the programs that they've described to you and take a look. And one thing that didn't get on tonight's program is there's an exhibit of Megan Reed's work over in the amphitheater. So if you get a chance, take a walk over there and check.
And then the other challenge was to figure out how to drive. that was a lot more challenging for those of us who are writers. And you figure out what it means. Yeah. There was a lot of
posing for the scenes. Like they had to get people to do the action and take the photos. So I take it very much. I just, once I decided that I wanted to do the comic, so I took drawing classes and a comics class. It's a whole set of skills that, for 56 years of my life,
So before I came to grad school, I went to any local VA hospital or any VA.
Oh, okay. Because I was looking at your sketchbook. Yeah.
So this stuff is pretty interactive. This stuff on the walls, we're glad we have that because this stuff is really impenetrable. Like you can't, it's like
So this one, yeah, this is what the guy told us. We interviewed the guy who got all the information. So those are Zen koans. Oh, what's that? What is that?
No, I guess it was.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, this guy must have been like, that guy actually was probably 1960s. He served in the late 70s. And then
this is Lacey's notebook. And it was basically almost like a chain letter. So she would like have like super rough comics that encourage her to do that instead of writing prose to adapt. And so then I would do like a revised draft, like move things around from there, and then you can sort of see like this is version 1, this is the beginning version 2, and it ended up being more. I mean, like this is like pretty direct. Like some of the stuff made it into a draft. I ended up doing all of it digitally, so it ended up getting a lot more revision after this. But so you did this digitally. Yeah.
I was really attracted to this first film. Wow, it's like this character. Such a great character.
I just love
Like you really understand, but you're also like using
Really sad. Well, I can learn so much.
I can't believe how much of that he gets done.
It's crazy, but.
I know. And he also was working on like, in the very beginning he was like talking about like he was doing like the outline of like a totally different thing than either of these. Almost. have my story decide what it came from.
Jessica Abel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Jessica's cute.
That's hilarious. I love that she posted it. Have you seen there's like a mom who's like
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, like these two, especially the way they interact with it, those are like, I mean, they're all working, but like those, I feel like they're interacting with the space really well. This one doesn't register quite that it's the painting factor at first, because it looks almost like it looks the most like a photo shoot in the backdrop.
And it's actually that's the background.
Yeah, I know. It's like how you can't change it. Yeah, no.
So whenever I was I was like, don't have the same thing how that translates to paint. Kind of like ignore it. What it was about.
What I would really suggest, being as someone who's started to transition to digital media, and I do like it really replicates traditional media really well. Like there's programs that like Coral Hair, Photoshop, doing digital brushwork over the photos and like just to blur the edges a little bit. I feel like a little bit. I feel like that could like on one like this where
super
right, yeah, like, I feel like that could, or like even like on this one, like if it's just like a little bit of a painted shadow that Ruth like they did it.
Yeah, if I do sell any to you, I want to, it's going to be in a show at the California African American Museum. Which also, I do have one that so powerful that's happening here. I was just telling Sanford that, we don't know that all of these things are happening. I was making work about this and what out. He was like, well, what happens if it's information that everybody knows? Not just the people who are right to us. What happens if everybody knows?
That's all.
And that just completely changed. I was able to talk about it.
And do you have an answer for that question?
The question, I answered it with another question. What happens when we emerge from the racial? Like, what do you look like then? Then your spirit's getting massaged. Then you're dancing. You got gold arms. You have everything. You have a hand. Don't have a hand. Just all of this shit. Like things that are rising, still going through these different states of emotion. They're not fixed. It's not a fix, but these are the bad things that are happening. It was just about joy. I was telling you that I never had permission to talk about my trauma. Like everybody's like, we don't want to hear about that. We don't want to hear about that. And that makes me angry. But then sometimes you just focus on how much your voice is oppressed instead of saying like, it's not. I don't have to live that. So that changed the
double whammy and a whole bunch of things.
But then I want to know, floating in and out. And when I put them on the wall, some I went back into and did color. Like that one didn't have any color. And then when I did that, I was like, something about that color and how it's popping, because all of my compositions used to be like very focused, like color everywhere. Everything was just really, really like, just really, really intense. And then I departed from painting, and then I came back to it. Now that I've worked with black and white for years, and now I know how the color has its emotion. So it's starting to work. I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm glad you're making it work.
I look forward to perhaps possessing it.
Yeah, no, there's like a huge honor to me. Yes.
I'm very
Yeah, they've been busy.
Three glorious weeks of not touching anybody.